fortified rebel base. You could picture like a stone building set in the jungle somewhere. It's a fortified rebel base. There are cannons hidden outside by disguised and painted to look like shrubs. The doors open up, these two big doors. You start going down in the hall. You can see up ahead of you, there is a table, a wooden table, which is round. And seated at the table, or standing, variously drinking, eating, and smoking, you see Draven, Beef Martine, Dylar, Tassinix, J.D. Suzuki, and Naughty Karate. And anyone who wants to come and join the conversation is welcome to join us. This is the Boba's Alliance Roundtable Chat for this week. And I want to welcome you all. The first person who will be speaking is Draven, and when he is ready to pass the feather to the next person, the feather will just go around the table. Each one is free to speak as you like in a casual way. And that's the whole game. We're going to stream about an hour of this and then let the conversation continue informally afterwards. So without further ado, I will pass the feather to Draven.
Welcome all. This is Draven. I'm a member of Boba's Alliance. My guild is Rise of Vizsla, and I'm over 5 mil. And Beef, please tell where you are in the game.
I'm Beef Martine, and I also have about a 5 million GP account, and we just got 44 stars on Hoth this week, so that's what I've been up to lately, and we're gonna try to go for 45 next month. And I pass the feather to the next person, which is Dylar.
All right, I'm Dylar, a herald from the Alpha, which is part of the Boba's Alliance. I am 6.9-ish million GP. I just unlocked my third Galactic Legend event today, so that's kind of where I'm at in the game. I did it right after lock for GAC week 4, so that I wouldn't be bumping up my GP before going into battles. And that's about it about me right now. I'll pass it on to Tassinix.
Hello, I'm Tassinix. I'm from Alpha, part of Boba's Alliance. I am 7.3 million GP. I just unlocked C here the other day, but I'm Zeta starved, so he only has his leadership. And I will pass it on to JD Suzuki.
Hey, I'm JD. I'm currently at about 5.4 million GP. I'm in the Outcast Ghost Guild, part of Boba's Alliance. So this last week we got like 17 stars. GOTV, so yep.
Naughty Karate.
You drop.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he
back
going.
to Draven. It goes
All
to
right.
Draven.
I guess the first thing is, since we are going through right now GAC, how are you doing in GAC this time around? That would be Beef.
You want to answer?
How you? I have lost one match so far.
Not bad.
Total?
I lost one match. First match lost. Second two I won in the most recent GAC. And I was trying to really experiment with my defense. So I split Jedi Revan and Bastila and had two Jedi teams on defense in front of my ships, which was a trap. And then I put really good ships on defense, and it held. So that was a weird strategy, but it worked for 2 out of 3. And so I'll pass to Dylar.
Oh, GAC, this season so far, I am, let's see, 2-4. I'm 7-2 going into the last week. The first round was pretty damn even. Actually, we both scored almost exactly the same points, I think off by 1 on the ground. But Akbar, man, Akbar still gets people. So my opponent only scored like a 50-ish on my Akbar, and that got me the victory. Round 2, was awesome because I was invited onto the Gambit podcast, which is Zareth and Solo Base, on Friday night. So I was their guest. And we, all three of us, won our matches. It was all three just, well, me and Solo kind of kicked ass. Zareth had to struggle a little bit, but as he does, he likes to set such a heavy defense. And then this last round, I was completely outgunned. I was completely outmodded. The guy had like 10 average speed higher than me. And I scored 2108. I full cleared one-shot everything, but not really clean. And then I watched him slowly pick apart my teams, getting 58, 58, 58. He averaged 58 on every single ground team. And then he went into ships, got like a 65 on my Radis. And then I was watching him. I was like, well, I was already sending him GGs and chat and stuff. And then boom, all of a sudden Akbar pops back up. Nobody's dead. And then boom, he pops back up. And the Y-Wing's dead, but Biggs is in there. And then boom, he tries again. Akbar pops back up. So that whole match, he was just slaughtered me on the ground. Yet in the air, I prevailed. So 3-0 the last week. Tass?
I saw your post that says, thank God Akbar, but what are you referring to, the fleet there?
The fleet, yeah.
Okay.
Like he said, he went in with a full Malevolence GG fleet, and the Akbar rebels just destroyed him before he even really got a chance.
What's your opener with those rebels? What are your first 3 deployed?
So you want the most effective for defense is actually Biggs as a reinforcement. So you're going to want Millennium Falcon, Bistan, and the Y-Wing up front. And then when Biggs comes in,
and then
when Biggs comes in as the first reinforcement, he's already starting with 30% protection up for 2 turns, and he automatically target locks someone. So it just keeps the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do myself, but I was curious.
And yourself?
Same question
Tass?
to Tassinix.
Yes. So yeah, I've been experimenting a lot with my defenses. My priority is I want people to be depressed when they see my defenses. I want that crap feeling to set in. So, you know, mixing and matching stuff. I've had mixed results for the first couple of rounds, 1 and 2, then 2 and 1. And then this last round, I went 2 and 1. But at the GP where I'm at, I up until the other day, I only had Slacker. I didn't have Red. I wasn't really in a hurry to get her. Now I just unlocked C. Only had the 1 Zeta, like I'd already mentioned, so it'll be a while before he's in serviceable condition. But the lesson learned is when you have one functional GL and you're getting matched up against people who have, you know, Slacker and Ray maxed out, it's tough. It's tough to argue the case for putting Slacker on defense, potent though he may be. So I've stopped doing that, and I had a marvelous last match. I've had a couple wins over 2100 this last round, but that one was very satisfying, and it's strange these days. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but it's like if I full clear somebody, my opponent just doesn't do anything. They just let it go, which I can't fathom. How are you going to leave those banners on the table? But I'm looking forward to powering up C. Anyway, JD?
Yeah, so for me, I'm 9-0 and
9-0. You've won 9 times in GA.
yep, I'm 9-0 so far. So I have a pretty focused roster. No Galactic Legends for me yet, but I have Jedi Knight, Luke, and Gas and that. So I generally have an advantage over my opponent, mod wise and gear wise. So yeah, I'll just pass it on to Dan.
I mean, I don't.
Dan,
What
and
about
then
your
Naughty
roster?
is 7.
So what is the
Is
topic?
that my
Is it just,
cue?
like, GA defense?
How was your GAC, Stan?
Oh, it was good. It's all right. Well, I think it makes a huge difference. Like depending on who you play. Like the first couple rounds were relatively easy, and then somebody like clearly did their homework and like set like a really strong defense. You know, put it pretty much all. It felt like they just took a fat dump on defense, but you know they still managed to full clear me. I don't know how they did it, but you know, I think it's really it's so player to player dependent for me. But yeah, so I know I had fun. You know, I didn't see any Galactic Legends, which is kind of a shame. You know, I always like to test out new things against them. But yeah, it was good.
And the person after you, Dan, is Naughty Karate. So each time when you're done, you would pass the feather to Naughty.
All right.
Naughty.
What?
All right, so
That's-
Naughty.
Up in the
That's your
so
cue.
the question is, how was the GAC experience? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Well, pretty much 6.5 million, and when GAC came out, being above 6 or even above 5.5 at the time just meant that there's an enormous assortment of things to face on any given day, you know, and it's never easy. So usually I'll do. I think I've won 2 times over the entire career of that game mode came out, but to, you know, at least one opponent got 2 just not playing at all. And I usually play just make sure I can clear or to be able to practice counter that is going to be seen in TW. But if I lose, I don't, like, it's, you know, it's all good. And I usually reach out and talk to people too. Anytime I get matched up with someone, as soon as the hour is on the hour, I'm like, hey, what's up? Nice roster, blah, 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 you know, small talk. Do you want to do anything special for defense? Because some people will set up something if you want to practice on a particular thing, or if you want to nerf it for each other and just sandbag your way in and get feats together or something. But I always find it way more enjoyable to be in touch with the person that I'm playing with, you know? Because then it's not just any obstacle. You're like, hey, buddy, hey, good job, good game, you know? I don't know. Feels better on the way out. That's why I like GAC.
And each time after Naughty passes to Draven, unless somebody new comes
Draven!
in.
Feathers
It's
yours,
open-
Draven.
Beef, let's let you ask your question because you're next in line.
Oh yeah, I am. I hadn't prepared anything special for this. I guess I'm always interested in territory war. I'm a territory war officer for my guild, and territory war strategy is kind of the heart of the game for me right now. It's the most important thing about this game, and I think there's a crossover between GAC and territory war, and I just wanted to bring up this tactic that Lily said last week. She said she'll go on to swgoh.gg website, which is a fantastic website in case you didn't know, and she'll look up her enemies, and she'll look to see what their enemies use to attack their teams. Then she'll try to do the same thing. And I thought that is really a good idea. And so my question to the room is, have you got any good ideas about how to get an advantage in territory war? And I don't think that specific clue works in territory war. So I'm not going to answer my own question. I'm just going to pass it to the room and say, what are your tips? What are your tricks for the best chance of success, both in defense and offense, I suppose, in territory war? And with that, I pass the feather to Dylar.
Well, that's kind of a loaded question, and that's kind of a hot topic at all times, because I know, us and Alpha, we kind of, like, technically Alpha is a casual guild, right? It just so happens that it's full of high GP players, a lot of people that are like former really competitive players, but when it comes to TW, like really we sometimes struggle to get 42 people that want to play TW. So when you got 47 million players or 7 million GP players going in, and you get matched up with a guild that has 50, but their average GP is 5.8, that's a strategy unto itself. It's not, it's not an intended, like the term that is frequently used is sandbagging, but we are not intentional sandbaggers. Like I remember one time we only had 39 people sign up and we had to get an alt in. So right there,
Yeah,
that's
just to round it out.
just to round it up, yeah, because you don't want to go in with an odd number. So, just that in amongst itself is a strategy to win, but it's not like it's an active strategy. And then second to that, we use Hotbot so we can pull up an analysis of our guild versus their guild before we even analyze what we're going to put on defense. So when we pull up the Hotbot tool, it tells us exactly how many GLs that they have on the board, how many Rays, how many Revens, or not Revens, how many Slackers, how many of the other two, and then we can plan our defensive accordingly. Like say they only have 25 Rays and 30 Kylos, well we'll save all the Kylo counters we need, and we'll put as many GLs on defense as we can just to kind of counteract their GLs. And you can go into it really in depth otherwise, but I think that's about the extent that we do, although I'm not a TW officer. I just kind of...
Actually, no, you are. You do have the role.
I have the role, but it's like I'm like the guy that's off in the corner being like, yep, that's
You
cool.
don't.
Yep, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, awesome. I think there's maybe been like a handful of times where I'm like, well, really, we should consider this or this or this and this, or like what counter. Sometimes I'll chime in on what counter we're going to use, but the defensive layout is mostly Lord Vitiate and Mino and Merc. I think I kind of stay out of the defensive
shout
planning.
out to Minotauro, if I can interrupt you, Dylar, that he basically all does WF. He's like, okay, guys, here's the plan. If he asks a question, it's like, does this sound good? We're all like, yeah. There's usually maybe a spelling mistake sometimes, but he basically does all the planning. He's awesome. Shout out Minotauro. Sorry, Dylar.
Oh, no worries. So that's what we do in Alpha. So I'll pass that on. Well, I could pass it on to Tass, unless you got some other things that we should be doing, but Tass is also in Alpha.
Yeah, I don't really think I can add on what you said there, because that would pretty much be the method that you would have, right? Outside of getting some inside knowledge. JD?
Yeah, so my guild, we're pretty casual about GW. We just kind of, we pretty much set the same defense most times. Like we'll update it every once in a while, but yeah, we're just pretty casual about it. Like just kind of let people do what they're like. We have set teams for each zone, but then like on offense, we just kind of like we'll have a recommended team, but we just kind of let people do what they want. And what I've been experiencing lately is that like we'll either get sandbagged or we'll sandbag. Like it seems like a lot of times it's over before it starts. Like we're like way out Galactic Legend, or way out Galactic Legend the other guild. So yeah, that's just kind of how it's been with CW lately, for me at least. Yeah, I don't know if I really have any tips for.
Hey JD, can you boost your mic? I can barely hear you, and I got you at max.
Yeah, I can also. I'm hearing you.
Yep. Try to raise your sensitivity while Dan is talking.
Yeah, you can pass it to Dan. I'll see if I can figure it out.
Alright, so as for me, like, I was part of a real super competitive guild at one point, no longer, and I'm happier for it. They used to do this thing where, like, they would check every single team that the other guild put on defense and match you up against specific, like, teams based on your mods versus their mods. Like, you had to, and it was like super competitive, and like that works like really well, especially if you, as long as you don't make any misplays. Like that works really well. But like it's hard to do that unless everyone's on board, to do it that way, And if you're like if it's not everyone on board that way, outside of like, I'm not really sure there's any like super crazy tips and tricks, you know, because there's no history like there is for GAC where you can see what the other guilds are putting on defense, you know, which is kind of good in my opinion. Otherwise, it would be a territory war, basically be like a larger GAC.
There is Hotbot, but other than that, there is no for TW, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's stored on Discord servers, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, never mind. Sorry, Dan.
No, go ahead.
Well, just to chime in off of Naughty, like Hotbot, like what we do is a really cool tool because you can set in the bot. This is the only counter you can use. Now go pick a team that you can beat with that counter, and this is the only counter you can use. Otherwise, it won't approve you. So that's one thing we do.
Oh, if I could chime in on Dylar chiming in on Naughty's chiming, I would add that Boba's Alliance members can get a discount on Hotbot. So it's a really, it's twice as effective for us because we have that advantage. And I think there's a specific way to do it, but I know you are going to message Prim on the main server to get that.
It's going to be like, what are you telling people to DM me?
I thought that's what he said to do.
No, he did.
Anyway.
No, he did.
He did. Okay.
He's an awesome guy.
Why do you guys keep saying
okay.
he? Isn't Prem a girl?
The name is a female character, but the player is a man. And the next with the feather is Naughty Karate.
Oh, what were we? TW?
Yeah, well, what are your TW secrets?
Okay, I want to iterate and leapfrog off of Dylar and Dan specifically about what TW is. And Dan, in particular, he said exactly the right thing. If everyone who joins participates and follows the rules, that's how you. It really doesn't matter what GP you're at. And yeah, I guess that's the main thing. And that's one of the things that, like, I guess in Alpha, we've enjoyed this experience of, you know, going in light, which greater community defines as sandbagging, like we're doing it on purpose, like Major League ball players going in to beat up on Little League. It's not easy. Still win. It does give you the advantage in ways, but it's not like an insta win. The thing is, with the Hotbot discipline and the planning properly, if you like assess the roster comparisons and plan out your counters and everyone executes properly, and of course there's going to be mistakes along the way, but if you just make less mistakes because you're more disciplined. In fact, Beef, also I want to go on of a question you were asking earlier, is it better to have like theme zones or mixed zones? And the answer was always theme zones, because not only does it demonstrate that your guild is disciplined, but it has an intimidation factor. You know, like we'll often put all the hard up at the front. That was like always the plan to do. Don't starve them for counters and be cheeky and store, you know, your strongest stuff in the back. Just put them in the front. Make them earn their way through to see what is behind the wall, you know? So, anyway. But really, the main thing, if you care about TW and want to be in a guild that cares about that, make sure that everyone who joins that game mode, because it is optional, make sure they will play it. Because the thing that will make you fail is if people do nothing, or they don't follow the rules, or, you know. So, guild discipline. But that's the cool thing about TW. Everyone comes together in a way that's like, I don't know, it feels way better than light side territory battles. I'll tell you that much. God, that game mode sucks.
Oh, come on, man. This is the best game mode in the game.
My biggest tip for territory war: don't preload turn meter.
Yes, exactly. Also, that should be rule number one for anyone who's new to the culture. You know, if you have a new person come in, they need to understand how not to make the situation worse, other than removing 5 banners total. You know.
Really good answers. How about Draven?
Well, when it comes to TW, I just recently moved to Rise of Vizsla because I was actually in a higher guild. But the main reason one of the reasons why I moved down was the competitors I tried my best to help in TW, but there was just so many galactic leaders and I don't have a galactic leader, and I don't have the counter for a galactic leader. So I purposely asked to be transferred down lower. And now it's more of a interesting and fun match now that I'm in a lower guild.
That's cool, Draven. Just to kind of like echo what you just said, like that's one kind of the unique thing about being a TW casual guild, which Alpha is we have some members that have zero appetite for high-end TW gameplay, and that's their own call. So some people will actually, some people that they want to play it how they want to play it, so they'll murk down during RTWs and they'll go play in like a 150 million guild just so they can do them.
Yeah, it's play big fish. That's fun.
Yeah, I gotta say that I beefed him doing the same thing. I moved my main account from a guild that was becoming more serious, more TW focused, into a casual guild, Utter Madness, and I've been really enjoying having a bigger account in a smaller guild. And we are also TW casual, which I agree with you guys 100% is a major key to our success, or just by saying you only have to join if you want to have fun with us, then nobody has that sense of obligation, and it leads to some amazing stuff on attack mode and sometimes on defense. So
Beef, do you punch up for TB time? Do you switch back to a higher GP guild for TB?
No, lately not. I'm casual enough that I'm okay with going to Dark Side Geonosis and Light Side Hoth, and we got 44 out of 45 stars on Light Side Hoth, so we're totally chasing the dragon on that 45 stars.
Yeah.
And next month might even get it. But now I've already got Negotiator at 7-star, and I don't care very much about the other Get To thing. I just unlocked Gas, and I already had 60,000 of those credits hoarded for his shard, so he's already 6 stars, and I'm just pounding on the Gas. But no, I don't need to merc up for that. But I do want to pass the feather then in general.
Yeah, that's good progress. Also, I can talk about 5G. So Alpha got 5 out of total. What's total? 30 something. I mean, it's such a far goalpost that's so intangible that I really don't care. But because there was this bug, phase 4, where some people, if you could complete a wave, many people cannot, given the team count. Sometimes you just die right off the bat. But if you got through phase 1, it would just lock up, not give you credit for one phase. So we almost lost a star. It was like this drama thing. Abby would be here to tell you. She was like, oh my God, we might lose a star. But if you really look objectively at the rewards for a week of effort slogging through this stupid game mode, it's the difference in minor hundred each thing that you could get, like in terms of currency, like get one and get 2 currency. Like the difference is so little. Getting a star is more about morale. It's like winning TW is about guild morale than it is about actually what you get as a result for winning. You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
Anyway, I'm done. I'll shut up.
Lightside TB is also kind of tuned for a 7 million GP player. Like, Naughty, you were in on my stream on the Phase 2 day, or maybe it was the Phase 3 day, but if you have the teams, you can steamroll it.
Yeah, dude.
You can steamroll it.
Yeah.
But we still don't have
you
the raw
got lucky,
GP.
too.
No.
Fairness. That was... Yeah, but that wasn't... I was super happy. That was really good demonstration. Yeah.
Dylar is next.
Oh, crap. I didn't even think of a topic.
Oh.
I'll pass it on.
You could say something about territory battle if you want.
No, I'll pass it on. Whoever's next can have the sacred conch.
So, with the advent of the new GLs, I'm curious, what are the prevailing counters for JML? I'm seeing a frequent variant nowadays with JKR lead and JML off to the side with Watt, throws on the tank tech immediately, so on and so forth. I've heard of 2 counters for this so far. One using Darth Revan, one using Slacker, and then Sith Triumvirate plus Bastila Shan Fallen. Curious what people think of that, and then for somebody like me who has Sith Eternal Emperor unlocked and not having an ultimate, is there a use for him in GAC right now? That's where my jollies are from, is GAC.
Passes to JD Sisuski.
Tyler, do you want to know about this? You don't want to say something?
No, I'll
There's a
speak on it when it comes
roto,
around.
man. There's a roto. Follow the
I'm
roto.
sorry. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, so I don't have any experience with the new Galactic Legends really so far, so I'll just pass it on.
Dan.
As far as for Sith Eternal Emperor in Grand Arena, he can solo some teams. You know, if they throw something not too strong, like a bunch of light side teams. You know, like if you see an odd Jedi Knight Luke lead team, you might be able to solo something like that, or something like some weaker light side teams. And I'm pretty sure he can solo gas too. We don't see that very often on defense nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, as far as counters for Jedi Master Luke, I don't know anything about it, the particular composition you were talking about with Revan lead and Watt and all that, so I can't really speak to that. But as far as Jedi Master Luke lead, yeah, Darth Revan seems to be doing some crazy voodoo magic over there.
So outline that squad though, if you don't mind.
Which one? The
Darth Revan counter for JML.
Oh, it's yeah, I think you can do it with Revan lead, Bastila Shan, and Watt.
And this is for a non-ultimate JML lead? Is this equally applicable against JKR lead with JML or what?
I don't know anything. I don't know if it works against JKR lead with JML, but it works against ultimate JML. I've seen it work.
It's the
Yeah,
JML.
I would
it's
say
the
that's
JML
an
lead.
unlikely. The other tunes you take is Treya and Nyla. But that breaks up another team.
I've seen a 3-man work.
Yeah, I've heard the 3-man functional.
If it's,
Yeah, you put. I don't remember which tech you put. I think it's Blast Tech. On Revan, on Darth Revan, and then he just somehow destroys their other team. As long as he has to be high relic, obviously. All these counters are predominant on relic and mods, right? So, but yeah, Darth Revan can beat Jedi Master Luke, as far as I'm aware. Doesn't matter if he has gas, Jedi Knight Luke, all that stuff.
Right, because fear is king.
Yeah.
So I saw a video today going over beating all of the variations of Jedi Master Luke, and it is SLKR, DR, Bastila, Treya, and then I think he switched it out. He had Thrawn in one, he had Nihilus in one. This is Wiggins Bog. And
yeah, you're talking about that video that.
But you need Kylo, Treya, and Bastila?
This is an arena counter. So we can talk about arena comps, and then we can talk about GACTW comps. It's going to be two completely different topics.
Yeah, I was thinking our topic of discussion was what you see in TW GAC.
I'm more curiously GAC focused. It's interesting to know for arena because for whatever reason, the last few days, I run Slacker with Hux, Lobster, Crew, and Vader. And that's been handy for a long time. No issues. And even through the last few days fighting these JMLs with JKR lead and whatnot, I've still been able to take them on pretty handily. For whatever reason, people got with the program today. They did some remodding because, holy moly, I was getting blown out.
Boy, yeah, you guys are above me on that. I don't have any of those characters unlocked yet, and I'm just farming on Luke, but it's amazing to be a fly on the wall in this conversation and kind of hear what's going on at that upper level. And I just would interject, we got about 20 minutes left on the recording. This is the Boba's Alliance Roundtable Chat, and it's an open discussion. Anybody's welcome to join us. Mondays around 8 o'clock Central. And as you can see, it's a pretty free-flowing discussion. Naughty Karate, do you want to add to something specific to that question?
Yeah, free flow this beef. No, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man. What's the
Or-
topic of discussion? Yeah.
How do you counter... Oh, Dan, what were you saying?
I hear Robo voice.
He's gone all roboto.
Get that potato mic.
He was GL counter, Naughty.
Jedi
Oh,
Jedi
for
Master Luke
GL
counters. Yeah.
Jedi Master Luke. So, Kylo. But if you don't have Kylo, the one that worked that I saw earlier today was is it a Vader lead? No, EP lead with Vader, Traya. So you have to really focus your Sith on that. But it was P, Traya, Nihilus, Bastille of Fallen. And, I think Vader's the 5th. I can't remember. It's a long slog of a battle. It did work. And it didn't require any GLs to count, so that's kind of nice. But it's still a super formidable defense team, and you kind of need... I've seen Ray beat it. There's someone in my shard that has the team, and I can beat it with Ray and Jedi, but it takes a long to do, and it's basically a timeout team, so... The non-GL one, the EP lead with a bunch of Sith that you might need elsewhere. So it's kind of an expensive counter, even though it doesn't require a GL.
I came up across the JML in my GAC this week, and it was Jedi Master Luke lead, and then it was Jedi Knight Luke, but then of course since it's GAC, then it was Shock T, I think it was Old Ben, and Ezra, and I was able to handily beat it with an EP lead, Vader, Thrawn, Traya Watt, which seems to work.
Yeah,
just
actually,
fine.
Dylar, I think the only reason I know this is because of you, because I saw you perform this, and I was like, oh, that works? Wow, dude, nice.
Yeah, no, it worked pretty good. You just feed off the turn meter train and you just keep going. And that was also a non-ultimate. Like, I'm sure the ultimate will change it, but I had him locked down with Isolate and Fracture and all that good stuff too. So, but he's a beefy boy. Like, it took me a lot to finally power through him, but I'm thinking that's kind of more of the comp you're going to see, and I think you're actually going to see lesser comps than that, because like I know me personally, I'm going to hold my Jedi Knight Luke to go with my Revan now to counter SLKRs. So I think you're even going to see like a Jedi Master Luke. Like what I plan to set is Jedi Master Luke, Barriss, Jolie, Grandmaster Yoda, and Shock T.
That's clever.
That's not Territory War, that's GAC.
Well, that would be probably a likely Territory War comp as well, because if we're going to set on defense, and I think that's actually what we did set on defense this last TW that we were in, but that saves all the pieces for your gas team, so you still run your gas team, you can still run your Padme team, and you can still run the Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke counter to SLKR. So it saves all the pieces and makes use of all the Jedi that you have likely relicked that are just sitting there on the bench collecting dust. Because GMY has no place on the Jedi Knight Revan team in this era of Galactic Legends.
Which is a
Good,
really
we-
bizarre
but-
situation to be in,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Say the team one more time.
Jedi Master, well, this is just what you kind of can scrounge together, but it's Jedi Master Luke, and then it is Barriss, Zeta Barriss, hopefully, and then Jolie, since Jolie is now off the Revan team, Grandmaster Yoda, and then Shock T.
That's pretty good. Oh, okay, that was Dylar. So who does it go to next? Tassinix?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where. That was Tassinix's question, so whoever's after Tas.
Did we skip Draven? I think Draven didn't talk between Naughty and me.
I did not face that, so I do not have any point to add.
Okay, and I similarly, I don't really fight those, so it's just really interesting to listen. I pass to Dylar. Dylar just spoke, so
I mean, I have one last piece to add, real quick.
Yeah, give it to Dan.
There's, if you look, there's like a couple of videos about it. Like I mentioned it briefly earlier. There's video footage out there of like I said, the 3-man Darth Revan team beating Ultimate Luke with Gas, Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, and Hermit Yoda in there. So, like, it's not a one-off that happens. Like, so if you can like throw, it's what is it? Yeah, it's Revan, Bastila Shan, and Watt, and then you can throw in Thrawn there if you want to for extra security. But that beats Ultimate Luke as far as I can tell. I mean, mod dependent, but yeah, there's video of it for sure.
But in arena, like, so that doesn't happen to me, because now I just unlocked the advantage. I'm gonna run a Bastila lead, and then won't be the lead.
Oh,
so then Darth Revan won't be able to just insanity off the bat and start the whole train. So you go Bastila lead, Luke.
Bastila lead is
Bastila lead, both Lukes, Watt and Revan. So that team is definitely beatable by SLKR, but that DR 3-man cheese isn't going to work.
Yeah. And would you do that same thing for GAC and TW or no?
Nope, because I need my Bastila on my Revan and my Jedi Knight Luke team to counter SLKRs.
Gotcha. So the 3-man would be potentially
interesting
viable.
that you say that, because I was running that and I agree that it's very reliable running with the Bastila on that counter for Slacker. But I found that reserving her to be a lead for my other garbage Jedi allows me to, like put in like Shock T instead, and I have a 330 speed Shock T, and she makes that counter work just as well, and then it frees up another leadership for you, for Gak.
I've seen that, Tass, but I'm not confident myself in running the Shock T lead. I've got my Revan counter to SLKR just down so smooth that I'm hesitant to go away from that. But you're right, it does allow you to have that Bastila lead other Jedi team as well. But then I'm kind of finding in my GACs, I don't know what I would use to kill it with, or what I would kill it with it.
Yeah, I have noticed as well that same team's gone underutilized for me, but it's that moment where you screw up and then you need a cleanup squad, but it can't just be a trash garbage cleanup squad, and then you've got to pass to the lead and find yourself with like a Barriss and Ezra and so on, and you've got something serviceable.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Something serviceable.
I did think of a question now. I actually thought of a question. Finally.
Okay.
It just so happens you can ask.
Have you guys seen what a Relic 7 Kiadi-Mundi's doing now that the videos are out there? Oh my god.
I did just see it today.
It's killing DRs. It's a DR counter.
Mm-hmm.
With Qui-Gon Jinn lead. Like, that's
because
crazy.
of the speed craziness.
Yeah, and the offense.
Offense and speed and all that. Crazy.
What are the prerequisites here? What are we talking about?
Jedi
It's a Qui-Gon Jinn lead.
R7 Kiadi-Mundi.
Yeah, R7, 7-star Kiadi-Mundi.
Year to get.
Grandmaster Yoda. And who else were they running? Barriss and Ayla. That was the team.
Ayla.
Yeah.
Ayla was cool.
And what's anything special about the mod set here on Kiadi-Mundi? Is there anything esoteric about the setup of the characters in that squad?
Just having the R7.
No, it's
well that and you want them health mods on.
Yeah, it's because
their offense scales with health.
Exactly, which is why Barriss is so good, and it has to be only healers or support. So Kiadi-Mundi synergizes with a Qui-Gon Jinn lead, because Qui-Gon Jinn lead gives the 30 speed and then gives offense based on speed, and then Kiadi-Mundi for Galactic Republic Jedi gives an offense huge boost based on health and gives speed. So
it's like plus 50 speed or something crazy total.
Plus 60 speed, and then plus all the offense that from the Qui-Gon Jinn based on the added speed. And then if you
how is Kiadi-Mundi himself modded? Sorry to cut you off.
I do believe it's like a mix of health and protection, because he is a tank and he gains protection back.
But so health and protection sets, you mean? Or are you talking about the primaries mix-up?
Primaries, I don't know. You could run him defense if you want. He's a tank.
The focus of the mixes of the mods and is generally
See, because
Yeah, pretty generic set. I don't think it's anything special. Probably like a little bit of speed, mostly health and protection based, but throw speed where you can probably.
Since he's a tank, he is not gaining the offense bonus from health.
I mean,
Yeah, true.
I haven't seen it yet, just to jump on that question, but people have been talking about it on Discord. And so to any non-Boba's Alliance people who are listening in on our round table, you should join the Boba's Alliance Guild. I'll just help out the
Yeah.
recruitment by tossing that out there, because I'm hearing about this stuff way before I would ever discover some YouTube video. People are talking
Yeah.
about this stuff in the chat channels. That's what makes the Alliance so effective as a tool, because you got 2,500 brains working on this problem instead of in your regular guild you got 50 people. So that's just a shout out to join Boba's Alliance, y'all. If anyone's hearing this right now and you're looking for a place to get the inside scoop on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, best place for me has been that. Now we've used more than half the time, and 4 out of 7 of us have asked a question to the room. What about JD, Suzuki, Dan, and Naughty Karate? Do any of you three want to pose a question to the round table before we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. With the new 6D and the 6A mods, I'm just wondering, like, what mods are you prioritizing to upgrade? And then, like, is there like certain characters too that, like, their mods you want to upgrade first and stuff?
And the question goes first to Dan.
So we talked about this a little bit in last week's chat as well, but I think the consensus was mods that have rolled speed 3 or 4 times, basically. You know, like the ones that are like three rolls of like 14, 15, 16 speed, and then 4 rolls if you want to
good
do
procs on speed.
Yeah, that are on 4 speed procs, basically, of, you know, whatever it is, 18, 19, 20, something like that, and, you know, speed, somewhere in that general decision direction. You're not rolling up your 5 speed mods.
You're right, if it already proc 5. Okay, so
Right.
Naughty, same question, same answer.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, I've used the mats that we got for the last 2 challenges, which only allowed 2 things to green. And I tried to proc something where Darth Revan had 20 speed with 4 procs, and it procced often. Whatever. You know, that's good. And then I put one on Jedi Luke. I was hoping for a speed proc, and it procced like health. And I was like, whatever. So basically, these new maps, what they do is they will give a new secondary stat to an already maxed out mod, and the results could be really surprising or disappointing, because you have, you know, what is it, 1 in 4 chance to like get the one you want. Hopefully it's, but prioritizing that have all the stats that would be beneficial is definitely better than rolling the dice on one where you're just looking for speed, because isn't everyone just looking for speed most of the time?
Yep.
Draven.
Everything we said last week and we said this week, there's nothing to really add to right now unless they up it again sometime shortly.
Game time next, and I did the same thing that you guys told me to do last week. I did exactly that. I found the ones that had 3 or 4 speed procs, and then also they had all good secondaries, so nothing would be wasted no matter what I got out of it. And then I also did that slice on some of my favorite characters from the Star Wars movies, which is Han Solo and Chewbacca. So I procced one of each of theirs to green with this special new mod material, and on one of them it got a speed boost on Han Solo, and on Chewbacca's it gave him more health. I'm like, hey, that's fine, because it was a good mod. Everything on there was good, and so there was no way for it to screw up. That's the way to spend that material. Dylar?
Yeah, what I'm doing is, like right now, I'm just farming the mats to take my 6 or my 5 dot mods to 6E. So what I'm doing is, once I get enough, like say after this last GAC, we got all the mats. I'll put my filter on, and I'll go to all mods, all characters, and then I'll filter by speed, and then I will take the highest speed mod I have that has procced 4 rolls of speed, and I will take that mod to 6E. And then once I get some more mats to slice some more, I will slice the highest mod I have at 6E that is the highest speed mod with 4 rolls, and I will slice that. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just chasing speed. But my strategy goes a little bit more in depth of what I'm doing to get. I'm trying to get a lot of 6E mods because I've seen people out there that have 486 E mods, and I'm trying to chase that.
Same question to Mr. Tassinix.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
All right, have you
What are you
done
doing
any
with
of
mods?
the special new slicing, and what mods are you slicing up?
Yeah, so I think the conventional wisdom is you're picking something with 4 speed rolls that's 20 or better. You wouldn't want to make the gamble on something that you've had crappy speed rolls on. So you got your 4 speed rolls and then decent secondaries, as everybody else has said. And then you go with God, and there's no way to go wrong, yeah? When you judiciously pick that mod, I would say arrows would be like the least priority, right? Because
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, you're getting all
Definitely not arrow.
you're getting the biggest benefit from going to 6E there. But interestingly enough, like I have like a mod on Darth Vader. It's a 32 speed arrow, and then it's got 4 slices on percent offense. And boy, oh boy, I'm looking at doing that one next. I'm actually doing the circle on him right now. That's got a 21 speed 4 roll on a speed mod.
Yeah, that splits your bet. That's good.
Yeah, so it's like you can definitely make the case that the speed arrow or arrows generally are least priority for getting your post 6E slicing. But if you've got some really extremely good lucky secondary rolls, go for it. If it's gonna push you that much higher.
I agree with Tassinix. Like, I even got some mods that have 4 rolls of defense that I have on some tanks. Those would be cool ones to roll up. Like, it's like, I'm talking
Sure.
not flat defense,
Sure.
it's like 5.5% defense. Now, these tanks at R7, especially like Jedi Master Luke, that'd be a cool mod to put on him if it had also some protection rolls or whatnot.
5 secondary. That's worth chasing for sure. If you built him, that's a really good augmentation for sure.
So I guess like it would seem conventional that you would want to skew for getting your 5th roll on a speed mod, but to your point, it would be beneficial to comb through your inventory and see where you've got some 4 rolls on some other really worthwhile, useful secondaries. I hadn't really considered that because, I mean, for the foreseeable future, I'm really going to be looking to take those 4 speed roll slices. I know that as time moves on, speed is far less critical than it was in the JKR or DR meta days. But it's speed is if somebody tells you just writ large that speed is king, they're not wrong. So if you go for speed generally, you're not wasting your time. But going for those mods where you've generally lucked out on some otherwise rare secondary stat, I could certainly see the case for that.
It's team dependent, right? Like
Oh,
your GLs are already fast enough. Maybe you can get away with chasing some other stats for your GLs.
Yeah.
But then like
Well,
not even
maybe everybody else has a fast GL, but yours is super strong, and they don't expect that.
true. And I went up against
Well,
like a
here's-
580 slacker and was still able to beat him. So speed isn't necessarily king. That guy wasted so much speed on a slacker, and I still beat it.
Funny you should say that. 'Cause all this time we've been doing like Slacker versus Ray in Arena. The ones that I actually had the most trouble getting the swing of beating them were the ones that modded for extreme protection, in health, and actually rather slow. Because then you have to decide, do you hold off on launching your ult on Slacker for a turn or two? You just try and build up some more mastery, some more siphon, and delay it so that you can land the ultimate either just before or just after her ult goes off. Because if you just go with the turns as they would go when you fill up your ultimate meter, man, you'll just lose over and over again to a sufficiently like slow and tanky Ray. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, let's go around the table one more time and everybody can say their last word before we stop the stream and the recording for tonight.
Did I get a last word on this one?
Go for it.
Yeah,
Howdy.
you do. You have the feather now. In fact, I'm just interrupting.
Oh yeah. Okay. Address that because I want to like. I think this would be more valuable from a free-to-play perspective. Is that this is some top level like mod theory craft stuff, but in general, if you ever use credits or ship credits to purchase a mod and it doesn't have speed on it, like what are you doing? Like it might not proc, and of course the other stats are meaningful, but pretty much I never will level up a mod that doesn't, unless it's speed arrow. If it doesn't have a speed secondary, I'm not even gonna. I'll take it to 12 just to see what procs and think about it later. But the other stuff, once you get to a certain point, you've like milked as much speed out of it as you can. Then the secondary stats become important. You can filter for those, move them to the appropriate players, but make sure that everyone has that little circuit board on their mods where they all have synergy with each other, Don't be one of those people that like tries to squeeze out enough speed by breaking 3 mod sets and none of them have synergy with each other. My last gag. Anyway, I guess I'm done. I know we're
Good
trying
tips.
to shut it down.
Speaking of speed
What about-
mods, Naughty, can I just ask you a really quick question? What did you think of that that Luke versus Bounty Hunter breakdown that I did on my last stream, where the mods were like 1 speed off and it screwed up the whole team comp?
That was really interesting. I guess that's an important thing for Luke, especially because, or to be able to fill his turn meter so it resets everyone else's.
Sorry, Beef. Go ahead.
That's interesting, and I don't know anything about that. So if you want to
Dialogue-
say something about it before we close
talk
it off.
about it. You should clarify this.
All right.
For what,
So this
so everyone knows.
So this guy had a Django-led bounty hunter team with Nest. Now the team had insane speeds. Like his Django, I think was 311. Like everybody, I knew that his whole team was just gonna outspeed me. Now I didn't have a whole lot of teams left because his defense was set so specifically that I had originally mistakenly thought I was gonna EP Vader it, but then I realized that their whole team was gonna go before I'd get weapon tech onto Vader, but then he still wouldn't get a turn before he could get ability blocked, and Merciless Massacre can be ability blocked. So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna bring in Jedi Knight Luke with my Shock T, but my Shock T was 315 speed, and then when you factored in the speed bonus from Django, their Nest was 316. So then I was thinking, crap, so Nest is gonna go. If it pushes the turn meter back, now I'm screwed. I'm not going to be able to use Shock T's Hero's Arise ability from Luke to get Luke his free turn to slow the whole team down. So to get around that was I brought in Thrawn, and I actually put the tank tech in his first move on Shock T, because if you have tank tech, even though she's not a tank, she's not going to benefit from it at all. Even if she has the tank tech, she will cleanse all debuffs. So it worked out exactly like I thought it was going to do. She did get her turn meter reduced by Nest, and then Boba, since where he had his Boba speed, Boba was the next to go, because he pretty much had his whole team clocked to go in front of me. Boba went and did his big AoE ability block. Now, if she did not have that tank tech and she got ability blocked, I would have been screwed. But it just so worked out that she cleansed the
That was
days.
also a hell of it to have to spend on that. That was a really strong bounty hunter.
But that's what I needed to do to beat it cleanly.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one thing I do in GACs.
Actually, you know what we should do? Is there anyone taking notes when we do these things? Because should post the links to the videos of what we're talking about. Because I watched that video, I got a lost in the articulation of it. You know what I mean? No offense.
Yeah.
You're really good at explaining, but I was like, picture, I don't know if people will be following. We should just post.
In the
But yeah,
description or
go
something.
check out, subscribe to Dylar, dude,
Yeah.
and Twitch, guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
give
all
me
my
a Twitch
GACs on
follow,
Twitch.
too. It helps.
They can go to my channel. This video, if anyone's watching it on it, it'll be posted all over, and you can find me. Just search Dylar Squealing Tactics on YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No one picked that name.
But yeah, mods,
Okay.
man. I meticulously look over teams, and it's just one speed difference can screw your whole counter.
It's true.
I like that there's some science behind it, and that you guys are, working it out and figuring it out. That's really fun to watch, and I think other people are sometimes quite serious about the game, and so it's been fascinating having a mix of competitive and casual players on tonight. Been a great round table. I'll sign off. Beef Martine signing off. Thanks for coming, everybody. How about Draven? Do you want to say goodnight?
Adios, guys.
We'll be back at it next week. Dylar, any last thoughts?
I'd say, first of all, so Beef, I'd recommend people go check out the Boba's Counters YouTube page if you want to see counters. I think you guys have explain it exactly what your channel is.
Oh yeah, it's great, and we're looking for more videos. So the last time I was hearing about Boba's counters, they're looking for more mid-level stuff, because they have a lot of videos of the really high-level counters, and they want some videos of unique counters that you're using. But basically it's been integrated into the counter bot information now too. But you could go to the Boba's Counter website, and it's not really my thing, but there's information on how to do these counters to a bunch of different things. So we're recruiting.
Yeah, shout out to Prim.
Yeah, send a personal message to Prim if you want to be part of that. But seriously, he is collecting videos, and so instead of just having a bot tell you what team might work as a counter, you can actually watch someone doing that. So that's how that works. So good shout out. Anything else you want to add?
If you're catching this on the replay, guys, whatever site you see it on, we always do this every Monday night at, for me, it's 7 p.m. CST. Take that for what it's worth. But every Monday night, we'll do this Roundtable podcast. And I recommend checking out the Boba's Alliance YouTube channel, as well as the Boba's Counters channel. Blah.
Very good.
Also,
May the force be with you.
Dylar's.
Yeah, and Dylar's channel. How about Tassinix?
Yeah,
Oh,
we got a new streamer in
Yeah.
Tassinix. Pimp your stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still focusing on kind of how I want to do all my presentation and all that. I'll be working on it, and I'll throw out some invites to people to come join and come watch. But a pleasure to be here. A pleasure to add my 2 cents, and I picked up some information. So thank you all for the time.
No, Task, you gotta hawk your wares. Say something awesome about what you're doing.
How do I talk myself up here? 7.3 million GP. Come see me fail and mock my failures.
Okay, yeah, that was good.
So basically, you're saying you're Arnold Jr.
This way, we keep the expectations low, so that wow factor is still in the background.
Yeah, respect. Like it.
very good. JD Suzuki, you're up. Do you want to say goodnight to everyone?
Sure. Yeah, everyone just drink more water and peace out.
All right, Dan, final thoughts?
Yeah, good night. Subscribe to all the guys. Keep on playing. Slog through. Grind that gear out.
Slug through.
It's great. Naughty Karate, you're the last word before we're going to push the button and stop recording.
Every closing sentiments, I'm just pole vaulting off them because I'm at the end. But yeah, drink water, slog through.
Well, we do have the queen herself
That's
that just
very-
came into chat. She should
That's
send
good
us up.
life.
What's this? The
Oh,
leader of Boba's Alliance appears at the
Abby.
last seconds?
Oh,
Abby's
just got
here.
out of a
Abby.
chat, so.
Hey Abby, we're at closing. This is the closing talk. I'm passing
Yep.
the conch to you. So what life advice do you have? Anyone listening?
What advice do I have?
Yeah. I closed with drink water, slog through from JD and Dan.
Uh-huh. Well, it'll be interesting. In terms of like the game, just if you get stressed, just take a step back, take a deep breath, drink some water.
Well, there we go.
And just kind of slog through the best you can, and don't worry what anybody else thinks.
Avi, did you take a deep breath after your rant last night on the Alliance podcast?
I laughed at myself. I definitely did. Yeah, I went on a small rant last night on the podcast I was on, the live stream I was on.
Before we continue
Which
with the
will be
casual
linked
discussion
in
of
the-
that,
in the-
let's
Will be
officially
linked below.
let's officially close this session, and Dialar can stop the recording now, and then we'll go ahead and talk informally from here on out. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Right.
Bye. That was